Is the Obama administration waging war on young people? Voters under 30 really helped President Obama get to the White House, but now many young Americans are becoming disenchanted with the president. Now, why is that? We have a panel of young people from around the country joining us tonight. In Austin, Texas, Julia Bass. In Lansing, Michigan, Hannah Grandy. And here in Washington, Brian Jackson Green. First to you, Brian. You were a supporter of the president in 2008.
Yes, I was.
And in 2012, what?
By then, I'd become somewhat disillusioned, so I wasn't as interested in as the two major candidates at that point.
Why are you disillusioned?
Well, I'd voted for him in 2008 because I was incited by his, pro-civil liberties rhetoric, sort of scaling back the excesses of the war on terror, and that didn't actually go as well as we had hoped it did. Guantanamo Bay is still open. But later on, when we started having to go into the job market and start, to work, a lot of my friends and I felt that the jobs that we thought we would have once we got out of college weren't actually there. So many people were struggling to find their first entry-level job once they graduated.
Julia, your thought on the president, is he helpful to young people or not?
I think it's a tough question, and I certainly was able to find a job a few years after college, and yeah, that's my opinion.
But are you disenchanted, or are you satisfied that the president is aware of and working on problems that meet your age group?
I came on this show to talk about my experience as a millennial, and I'm not quite sure I know how to answer that.
All right, well, let me go to Hannah. Hannah, your thoughts in terms of the president. Is the support still there, young people, millennials, for the president, or do you find that it's waning a little bit, or is it growing?
I definitely think that the tides are turning for the president, and I think it's smart of millennials to, adjust their expectations at this point. I think that the policies that the president has supported completely undermine our hopes for employment on graduation day.
What would you like the president to do, Hannah?
I would like for him to stop meddling, maybe take a step back. Especially, I think a perfect example of this would be the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, his little brainchild. And it has created a definite sense of uncertainty with employers. They don't know how much it's going to cost to hire people. So how on earth can they make smart hiring decisions?
Brian, back to you. Now, I know how you feel, but I'm curious, your friends, is your opinion something that's sort of common amongst your friends, or are you you alone sort of are growing disenchantment? What are you finding among others?
I find that it's actually been, pretty common. Everyone was pretty enthusiastic back in 2008, but once we had to go into the real world and, hold down real jobs, the enthusiasm wavered. Now, part of the problem is that many of the campaign promises he made didn't turn out to be true, but a lot of it is just, reality hitting in once we get out of college.
What could he do to change that?
Well, that's a hard question. I have to agree with Hannah, and I think that Obamacare has caused a lot of concern about the ability of businesses to hire and take on new expenses. Part of the problem is actually falls with colleges and not preparing people to gain real world skills and hit the ground running once they finish their education. So, I think that by loosening up restrictions on the economy, promoting free enterprise more than the economy should help, pick up, and business owners would be willing to take on more entry-level workers.
Julia, do you find that that millennials are getting more enthusiastic about the president's policies, or less, or are they just about the same in the last couple of years?
I would say young people are probably less enthusiastic. He's had a challenging 2013, and I'd have to agree with what my peers are saying.
Hannah, so what do you think the future is going to bring for your age group as we approach 2014 and 2016? What do you think that in terms of looking at candidates and what young people will be looking for?
Well, I really hope that people my age, millennials, we get motivated to start becoming informed, because I think what happened with Obama might have been a misrepresentation, and we bought into it, and maybe we'll become more involved in political discussion and more informed about the candidates we're voting for.